1971. We woke up in a different world, where the Cold War ended along with the Vietnam carnage. All because of the Dome. The Dome. A territory full of anomalous artifacts, phenomena, and organisms. We still don't know what it is. An alien city? Some kind of a testing ground or storage? Whatever it is, no living thing trapped under the Dome can escape it. Yet even this did not stop the research. The major powers created the Cronus Megacorporation to develop and explore the Dome. Its secrets became a lucrative business. The Spire station was built on top of the Dome to export the artifacts and import supplies and personnel. The city of Crystal Sands grew at the foot of the Dome, eventually becoming a major transportation hub. All this required thousands of employees, and there was no shortage of candidates. Romantics, pragmatists, and adventurers of all trades swarmed recruiting centers around the globe, seeking jobs at Cronus. You were one of those people. In 1976, your application was approved, and you went under the Dome towards the future. Whether a good one or a bad one, only time will tell. A guy wearing thick spectacles thrusts out a sweaty hand.
Monty James, Silverwing.
He glances down at your badge.
Ah, it's you. I found your file when I had the opportunity to look over the files of my future colleagues. I couldn't resist. I don't want to sound boastful, but silver level clearance has its advantages.
Monty winks. Monty makes a ring with his thumb and forefinger.
You were number 63,784 on the waiting list, but you were lucky enough to get into the Dome after only 16 months. Besides that, zero, nada, absolutely nothing. You're a dark horse for both the Foundation and myself. How exactly did you end up in this wing?
The Silver peers at you more closely.
Wait, let me guess.
An uncomfortable silence. He taps the narrow illuminator panel with one finger.
Look, there's a storm rising. The lightning is strange. Green. Should lightning be green?
A man with a mustache and a blue jumpsuit is standing at the window, studying the construction. The blue taps on the glass with one finger and gestures you to come and take a look. Seems like he doesn't. A young, dark-haired woman is staring through the illuminator. She turns to you, the shiny badge on her white.
There are 6 people in this capsule, 2 of them in black jumpsuits. Not a statistically significant sample, but the trend is...
Kimura shakes her head disapprovingly and turns back to the illuminator.
This place is a scientific treasure trove, and you're treading all over it in your jackboots, blowing up doors that are thousands of years old, acting like you own this world. What devilment.
Kimura isn't impressed.
Protecting us from the dome, really. And who's going to protect the dome from you?
The badge on the orange's chest reads, "He eyes your black uniform." A tall woman is watching an ad playing. She glances at you and offers her hand.
Greetings. Please take all necessary precautions. By that I mean, don't turn your back on him.
Else,
I just follow orders. Even if his crime was embezzlement, I have to keep him cuffed. Those are the rules.
Ola.
Our friends from the administration didn't deign to inform me about this man's record. Could be I'm escorting a serial killer.
Stopping by the door's porthole, you watch as the ground it looks brown-black through the tinted glass and smoky blue at the horizon. You peer into the rusty clouds of dust blowing along a dirt road leading south. The southern sector. Every black winger has heard the whispers about Operation Simoom, a major offensive under preparation since the early days of development of the dome. Just as you're about to move away from the window, you notice a whirlwind beginning to form above the ochre plain. The gathering storm drifts unhurriedly above the desert, a crown of green lightning flashing at its core. Clearly no ordinary weather phenomenon. It must be one of those anomalies. You freeze by the window, unable to avert your gaze. The outlines of the landing site, blurred by clouds of dust, appear behind the greenish glass of the porthole.
Come here. Come on now, or you'll miss everything.
A cheerful man, a badge reading Ludovico Nuzzi, scientific analyst, export department, dangles loose.
Look over there.
He points upward with a sharp, wide gesture and hands you his field binoculars. You raise the binoculars to your eye. Under fourfold magnification, the whirling cloud above the rust-colored plains looks even stranger. Its core, Nuzzi, bends close to your ear.
Fascinating. Do you want me to bring some filters? If we intercept the red and blue spectrums, we'll see something amazing. It's like a signal, some kind of message.
Without tearing your gaze away from the binoculars, you turn around slowly, studying the dome. It's somewhat unexpected that the dome looks horribly empty. Your eyes find some construction pits dug directly in the sand, and concrete blocks laid beside them. There are almost no roads, or not sealed ones. Only the scientist looks blankly at you, then down.
Ah, this? This?
Ludovico points at the building behind him.
I work in Concord Station, categorizing relics. My job is to classify them by rarity. Then the blues package them, silvers issue the documentation, and oranges move them to the cargo capsule.
Nuzzi points upward.
Then the capsule takes the relics way up there, all the way to the spire, then to Crystal Sands by the funicular. They get auctioned off and turned into money. It's not like I am doing.
He offers you his binoculars once again.
Do you want to have a look at the spire? It's amazing. But then, you can look at the...
Nuzzi looks from you to the capsule and to the landing terminal entrance. He flings his arms up.
Oh, mi scusi! Excuse me, I'm so sorry. You'd better get going or you'll be late for check-in. Your colleagues are already in... Yeah, the storm is growing stronger.
The white mutters in fascination.
Let's get indoors.
Oh, never thought this would happen. Oh, good day. Bye-bye.
Greetings, newcomer.
Kronos Corporation reminds you. Your Selectron has not been properly authorized. Please visit the reception desk to register.
A tall receptionist watches you from behind his desk with a bored hum. The employee glances at you indifferently. His upper lip is...
All new employees must register first thing. Come up to the desk, please.
The nameplate on the desk tells you you're talking with Dean Ray. The administrator slaps himself on the forehead.
Ah, I almost forgot the regulation pre-registration greeting. Just a second.
Rayhet produces a reel-to-reel tape recorder from beneath the desk, rewinds the tape to the beginning, and presses play. The speakers explode. Solemn music begins to play, and the administrator's face takes on a serious expression.
Dear employee,
The administrator clears his throat and continues.
by joining our company, you choose the path of science and progress. You are
Dean squints down at the monitor.
deserve this title. Do your job honestly. Obey the law. Respect
The music fades, and the administrator finishes his... Dean puts the tape recorder away.
Now that we're done with the official greeting, I'll register you and upgrade your Selectron. Okay?
Dean's hands hover over the keyboard. He gives you a nod. You spell out your first and last names and specify your wing, profession. Rayhet scans the computer screen.
So your position in the waiting list was 63,784. You've been assigned to Magellan Station. A special bus will bring you there after a series of briefings. Please pass me your Selectron so I can...
Dean snaps the docking port of your pass to a recess in the case. The administrator returns your Selectron.
Here you are. You now have first-level clearance. As a Black Wing employee, you get access to the barracks, the armor...
Dean continues.
All new employees have a short list of tasks to perform on arrival. Do you want to hear all the details, or...
Rayhet snorts.
To make it short, get your uniform from storage, your weapons from the armory, pass the Psi abilities test, and complete your weapons training at the training zone. Then learn how to use the scanner, avoid anomalies, and properly catalog...
Dean sits back in his armchair.
That's it. I hope there aren't any questions.
Rayhet claps his hands inside. He reaches for the tape recorder, but thinks better of it.
Protocol calls for a little welcome.
As he's about to turn away, Dean suddenly remembers something.
Oh yes, I sent your mail.
Dean gives you a short nod as you approach.
Mr. Rayhet? I hope to see you again soon.
damage, your life will be forfeit.
Just great.
It was nice chatting.
Around the aperture at the top of the dome, a transition.
I'm listening.
Attention, attention. Please handle relics carefully. In case of damage, your life will be forfeit.
Come back again.
Behind the storage counter, you see the silver perks up at your approach. A thick logbook appears at once from under the counter. The silver finally stops and pins down a particular page with his finger.
This is your first uniform.
Maynard adjusts his glasses in a businesslike manner.
Before I give you the...
Sidney fiddles with his hairstyle.
So, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Life under the dome can be dangerous. That's why it's important to wear protective equipment when traveling outdoors. Of course, in hazardous situations, the equipment will get damaged.
He points back at the shelves behind him.
We've got repair kits for this gear. There are Blue Wing specialists ready to help.
Sidney rests the logbook on. The silver disappears into the back for a while and returns, unfolding the package. Maynard shows you a brand spanking...
Standard issue Blackwing equipment, trousers, boots, jacket. Everything is stain resistant and armored.
He raises a finger.
One more important thing. In accordance with Order 16-225, helmets and gloves are not issued, but they're available.
Sidney hands you the package.
Here's your uniform.
Attention, please handle relics carefully. In case of damage, your life will be forfeit.
Anything urgent, Mr. Khrushchev?
Katarzyna, did you mark it as Class 1 again, instead of 2? Look, here's the scanner data. It says the relic is a scientific device.
Wait, but it's still Class 1. I'm not going to violate protocol.
Remember,
The smell of good tobacco wafts off. The woman fixes her coppery hair. Margarita thumbs back a couple of... She glances at her Kairos. Looks Tkachenko returns in a few minutes holding a large... She presents the weapon in her outstretched hands.
Take this and sign.
After racking the slide, Tkachenko points the gun at the ceiling.
High firing rate and good accuracy, even in burst fire mode. Enjoy. Just don't point it at me.
The black hands you the weapon. Margarita drags on her pipe and releases a puff of thick, yellow smoke.
I see you know the rules and won't cause problems.
The armorer shrugs, puffing indifferently on her pipe.
It's the least I could do. We have...
Leaning over the counter, the black points somewhere off to one side.
Now it's before the training zone. Go see that wizard guy with his toothpicks. Be careful around him, though. Don't let him pitch...
attention, attention. Please handle relics carefully. In case of damage, your life will be forfeit. Honest work will make the world a better place.
A lean silver with thick... As you approach, he flashes a slide. Something really weird happens. All the paper clips, pencils, scattered toothpicks, and bits of trash float up from the table and hang in the air. The silver...
Here for the briefing, huh? Shall we get to it?
He takes the cigar out of his mouth. The silver props his elbows on the table.
Anyway, here's the deal. It's more profit...
Not waiting for an answer, he grabs... Andre gropes your hand briefly, then lets go, disappointed.
The pills, huh? The anti-migraine, sleeping pills, neuroleptics, downers. What do you mean you don't take them? Well, off you go then. That means no talent, huh? Why waste time? No wasting time now.
The silver takes a thin glove covered in talc from his desk and passes it to you.
Look, a glove, right? But it isn't just a glove.
He counts off on his fingers.
Learn psionics. Put on the glove. Transform energy into the necessary shape. That's the whole briefing. Simple? Simple. Now to your question.
Mihai spreads his hands good. The toothpicks on the table skitter around from... The silver laughs loudly at his joke. The cigar falls from...
I'll complain to the Silvers about that idiot. They'll take the appropriate measures.
As you reach to open the sliding door, an engineer in a bright blue jacket stops you.
Hold on there, Chief. It's out of order. See? You're a newcomer, right? It's a straight-up open house here today.
He offers you his hand. According to his badge, this is Maxim Penkovsky, technician. The technician slaps the door with one hand.
You have to wait until I'm done. Some orange jammed up the lock with chewing gum just for a laugh. They're like animals, those oranges, marking their territory. If you ask me, they're too gracious about those bastards in Crystal Sands.
Penkovsky grunts angrily.
I wish I could.
Maxim extracts a thin, sharp...
Though there's another way. You want to learn something about picking locks? It's a useful skill in all sorts of situations.
He looks at you, the blues getting excited. Penkovsky presses his pick lock, and an odd device...
Using a mechanical pick lock is easy peasy. No special skill required. They wear out after a few locks. While the old-fashioned kind is another thing entirely. Cheap, one use. But one...
He gives you a quick lesson on how to pick...
By the way, you can carry your tools in your belt. It's much handier to have them right. Actually, finding tools under the dome is no problem at all. There are even devices...
The blue solemnly raises his index finger.
And one more thing. Always use brand-name stuff if you can. Groovy produces good kits. Modus and Supercolor do too. They've all got fat...
He looks at the door again.
Damn these locks. Though I'd rather be doing this than fixing hab pods. Those are a real pain in the ass.
Penkovsky gives you a patronizing look.
Because they're poorly made. Warped from the heat, and the filters aren't worth a damn. The modules were constructed by...
Attention, attention. Please handle relics carefully. In case of damage, your life will be forfeit. Remember, our honest work will make the world a better place. Remember, our honest work will make the world a better place. World a better place. Attention, attention. Please handle relics carefully. In case of damage, your life will be forfeit. Remember, our honest work will make the world a better place. World a better place. Remember, our honest work will make the world a better place. World a better place.
I repeat, get a lockpick and attach it to your utility belt. And then, apply it to the door. Yes, apply is the proper word. I repeat, get a lockpick and attach it to your utility belt. And then, apply it to the door. Yes, apply is the proper word.
Remember, our honest work will make the world a better place. World a better place.
I repeat, get a lockpick and attach it to your utility belt. And then, apply it to the door. Yes, apply is the proper word.
Remember, our honest work will make the world a better place. World a better place.
I repeat, get a lockpick. You're doing great. All right, off you go. I'll keep working on this lock.
Welcome Under the Dome, an amazing excursion to a world of new technology and the riddles of an ancient civilization. Listen to this information, useful for all wings, and receive a colorful leaflet.
Behind me, the sun reflects blindingly from the sun, and the air is as dry as a nun's gusset.
A middle-aged black is sitting behind the counter with his hand. Botherby frowns as you approach.
Your first act is being late for the briefing. You going to be late for your funeral as well?
The black looks you over.
Yes, I see the weapon received checkmark. Looks like you are fully prepared to disappoint me. You are prepared, right, employee?
Botherby leans over the counter and directs you to the doors.
Behind this door is a combat simulation computer. Launch it and begin your course.
He raises his index finger.
The conditions in the training zone closely simulate those one would experience.
Pulling a notepad from his pocket, the instructor jots down your name.
Your goal is to hit 3 targets.
Sounds like a sci-fi story, but we aren't strangers to sci-fi here. The detailed
thrilling news. You aren't completely hopeless.
This is The Dome from the Inside, with me, Victoria Legrand. As you can see,
Botherby nods grandly.
You made it through training without making a total fool of yourself. Congratulations.
and the air is as dry as a nun's gusset. What an inhospitable wilderness, you'll say. And I fully agree with you.
Welcome under the dome. An amazing...
You see a tall scientist, and the man turns at your footsteps. He glances from you to the glittering watch on his wrist.
I want us to respect one another's time. Please speak loudly, clearly, and to the point. You must be the newcomer I was told about. Nice to meet you.
Finished with his unusual greeting, he offers you his thin hand. The scientist puts the... He shows you his watch dial.
According to the rules of this briefing, I have to touch on a large number of topics. Therefore, I will do so very briefly. Do not interrupt me. When I'm finished...
Sebastian produces his handheld and clicks some buttons.
I checked your scanner. It's working and is connected to the Minerva database. Everything you...
The instructor watches you with displeasure.
Are you listening? Scan everything that might be of scientific interest. First of all, anomalies, They could be dangerous. Make sure to always have medication with you.
He places a canvas pouch in your hand.
This pouch is full of bolts. You can temporarily discharge an anomaly by throwing a bolt into it. It's primitive, but reliable.
Van Olden pushes a button on his stopwatch.
So, my oral briefing fell within the allotted span of time. Any questions you want to ask me?
The scientist glances at his watch again.
You're within the time limit for questions. The next step is training in the artificial...
He rests one finger on the button in preparation to start the timer.
You're going to go downstairs and scan relics. I will be monitoring your progress. Please note there are several radioactive anomalies in the ecozone. These are the same conditions you'll be working in the field. Radioactive zones and relics.
He smoothly extracts a jar of yellow pills from his pocket.
Here's your ARAD 3. And...
Please stand by for decontamination to end.
I fully agree with you, but what if I told you that in a year, you'll be lying by a swimming pool, sipping a margarita right on this spot?
Van Olden gestures back at the ecozone.
Sounds like a sci-fi story, but we aren't strangers to sci-fi here. The detailed plans are made.
Attention, attention. Please handle relics carefully. In case of damage, your life will be forfeit.
I don't know about you, but I'm sure I
Be careful around the anomalies. Touch one of them and you'll be injured. Toss journal entry. A successful scanning attempt. You're doing all right so far. Go ahead. I'll keep an eye on you and make sure. Don't touch the relics with your hands, employee. Use your scanner. Radiation sickness will not add to your knowledge. Journal entry. 2 objects scanned. And again, watch out for anomalies. Touch one and you'll be injured. Toss a bolt at the anomaly to discharge it. Journal entry. All 3 objects have been successfully scanned. Come upstairs, employee.
Sebastian meets you on the platform. He clicks the stopwatch button, fixing the result time. The scientist turns back to his notes.
Not bad. One question. You observed several anomalies while scanning. Why do you think they appeared? I'd like to hear your opinion.
The scientist assumes a superior expression.
I knew you'd come up with something like that. I see you understand nothing.
He glances at the shimmering blue light in the ecozone.
The truth is, we don't know the precise reason for these phenomenon either. We actually know nothing, no matter how much...
Sebastian points a thin finger at the clustered lightning.
I personally believe that the anomalies are the dome's security mechanism. The ones you saw are relatively harmless, but there are different anomalies in the desert, phenomenon that toy with the human mind.
Van Olden clasps his hands behind his back.
I know you don't care, but I'll say it anyway. Scientists today are required to be wonder workers who can heal cancer with a wave of their hand and solve the secrets of the universe during their coffee break. For some reason, no one wants to understand that fundamental science is always an investment in the future. It produces no answers here and now.
The White's gaze strays back to his clipboard.
If something terrible happens under the dome one day, and I'm sure it will.
Attention, attention. Please handle relics carefully. In case of damage, your life will be forfeit.
With me, Victoria Legrand, as you to the western Christian Covenant, the sun reflects blindingly from the sun. The air is as dry as a landscape. But we aren't strangers to sci-fi here.
Remember, our honest work will make the world a better place. World a better place. Remember, our honest work will make the world a better place. World a better place. Attention, attention. Please handle relics carefully. In case of damage, your life will be forfeit. Remember, our honest work will make the world a better place. World a better place.
The detailed plans are ready. According to them, there will soon be a real resort city in the west, with bars, casinos, spas, and therapeutic slums.
Attention, attention. Please handle relics carefully. In case of damage,
An amazing excursion to a world of new technology and the riddles of an ancient civilization. Listen to this information.
Salutations.
Attention, attention. Please handle relics carefully. In case of damage, your life will be forfeit.
See ya.
Strangest
Welcome Under the Dome, an amazing excursion to a world of new technology and the riddles of an ancient civilization. Listen to this information, useful for all wings, and receive a colorful leaflet.
Ed, spit it out. I can see that something's bothering you.
Well... Employee, please come here. There's an urgent task for you. How can I help?
The giant display glows welcoming. A gray old man with high cheeks. He leans close to the camera, his glasses glittering.
My name is Martin Kingsley. I'm Chief Officer of Magellan.
He reaches for something out of view and produces it. He marks one of the pages with a pencil.
Why did you choose Blackwing? There are other divisions in the corporation you could have worked in.
Kingsley's waiting for your answer. Martin nods and writes something down.
Cronus has much to offer. Very
Kingsley closes the file and folds his hands in front of him.
Thank you for your reply. I learned a little more about you. Now I want you to learn a little bit more about...
He assumes a serious expression.
When the dome was discovered in 1971, it became a scientific and...
Kingsley drums his fingers on the unseen desk, his gaze focused somewhere beyond.
I see. You were enticed here by radio advertising, telefilms, and all those interviews, billboards at every turn. Cronus wants the world to see the dome as a stage where something merry and fascinating is going on. But now that you're actually here, I want you to see the real picture.
You can't make out his eyes behind the glare on his spectacles, but he seems to be staring directly at you.
Here's the truth. Nobody was waiting for us inside the dome. It's neither a treasury of technologies nor a cemetery of the ancients. Perhaps what we're doing now is defusing the world's most complicated bomb. Well,
he looks back at your file.
I say, do what must be done. Because that's what the concept of the five...
Kingsley points at the camera.
You're from Blackwing. Your duties are simple and straightforward. But you have to understand, everything you do is to maintain order and peace. Once people panic, they kill each other much quicker than the dome ever would.
Putting the folder aside, he sits back and stares at you in silence. It gets so quiet that the ticking of a clock can be heard through the speakers. Kingsley sighs quietly.
You were probably waiting for some boilerplate welcome speech. But I prefer to talk about real-world problems. Glad to meet you.
Attention, attention. Please handle relics carefully. In case of
Martin
damage,
nods
your life will be
slowly.
forfeit.
I apologize once again for this long-distance meeting. Now, as we don't have much time, I'd like to get to the point.
He moves closer to the camera.
I'm going to...
Kingsley's face freezes on screen.
I have an urgent mission for an employee of your background and qualifications. I'd have assigned someone from Magellan, but I'm short of...
Martin noisily clears his throat.
Maybe you've heard about Nashville Base. While preparing the materials for this mission, I came across a short documentary...
The speakers produce a hollow click. Purple, gray, and black spots flicker on the screen. A blurred title, The Cronus Archive. The shadow of an airplane flies across a faded yellow desert. A cheery voice fills the room. Every day, our researchers uncover more and more of the dome's secrets. There is no doubt the underground structures, so-called objects, are organized according to some pattern. Though early on, the importance of the relics to scientific research was considered insignificant. The desert dims into the black of a chalkboard. The narrator continues. By 1972, however, many important discoveries had come to light in a period of only a few months, and the construction of stationary research bases adjacent to the more promising objects began. Personnel moved into Ankara in May of 1972, and within half a year, Boston and Dessau were also brought into service. The picture changes to a chasm suffused with electric. The speaker's voice seems to come from a distance. In November of 1973, a massive network of the camera glides through dim caverns as the silhouettes of bizarre mechanisms emerge. The speaker continues. C-12 Nashville is an innovative research complex located atop the primary relic mining location. The complexity of this object is unique. Communications. The film abruptly cuts out, and Kingsley's face reappears.
The rest of this information is classified. Hopefully you get the main idea. Nashville is a very special place, requiring people...
Martin adjusts his glasses.
So, the task. Nashville base stopped transmitting and receiving signals yesterday evening. A reconnaissance group was sent out early.
The chief officer rubs his forehead.
Normally, I would never give this task to a newcomer.
He looks down at the documents again.
Furthermore, the group was lacking someone with your specialization. I decided that a visit to an established base like Nashville didn't require an armed escort. That may have been a big...
Kingsley is looking into the camera once more.
Your task is to get to Nashville, figure out whatever's behind the communication problem, get in touch with the group, and...
The chief officer carefully returns the documents to the folder. You notice his hands tremble slightly.
Go downstairs. The truck must be waiting for you in storage. This task is urgent, but a small...
Kingsley's hand reaches toward the camera.
Scratched up the paint on your
Can't accept the cargo without the manifest.
Manifests he wants. Always manifests. You're a cold man, Ulf.
Attention.
You're heartless.
Please handle relics carefully. In case of damage, your life will
Hey,
be forfeit.
did you see that storm? Hell, you want me to go back out there?
Those are the rules, Tom.
Well, I guess I'm going back to Campbell then. Hey, he's very sick. I'll have a puff to pass the time until the storm. It's my last one. You're a heartless. I'll tell you that before. Well, I'm telling you again. Well, hello there. How can I help? I hope to see you again soon.
Welcome onto the dome, an amazing excursion.
Oh, what do you want? Get out. I don't like you. Scram.
Attention, attention. Please handle relics carefully. In case of damage, your life will be forfeit.
Greetings.
The highway leading to C-12 Nashville is blocked by an anomalous storm, and you're forced to detour over a mountain pass. Soon, the radiator Lara lifts up the hood and thoroughly examines the steaming radiator.
The engine's boiling, so we'll have to wait. You do know what happens when a car boils, right? It's...
The Blue shuts her mouth abruptly and stares anxiously at the dark funnel cloud dancing on the horizon. The Blue looks at the engine again.
We wait. As soon as it cools down, we'll go. This storm worries me more, but it's not an insurmountable problem. I heard there are some relics at the local gas station that protect against anomalies.
Your companion perks up a bit. She seems to be interested in this subject.
This place is registered as a resource anomaly zone. Do you know what that is? Not much is known about these relics. They dampen anomaly fields, even very strong ones. They're also found in other parts of the dome. They're known as bronze apples, or aluminum apples. I don't remember, but something like that.
The Blue looks at the storm once more.
There've been more and more of these lately, and they're getting stronger. I personally think it's divine.
She sighs and squirms.
I knew people who got caught in one of those storms. They blow up so fast, there's no chance to get away. God rest their souls.
The Blue makes this. Morgan thinks for a moment.
It's a combination cafe gas station called Roadside Picnic. Never been there myself, but there's something off about it. There are several anomalies around there and weird relics. Supposedly, machines and structures decay much faster than they should in that area. Maybe that's just a story.
Who the hell goes there? Come on in, since you're already here.
A weird, scruffy old man with a groan. He picks up a magnifying glass and, peering through it, begins poking at the keyboard while the computer plays a short tune. Checkmate. The old man angrily sets the magnifying glass aside.
A Grandmaster? You're a piece of junk.
He raises his head to squint in your direction.
Eh? What do you want? I don't advise eating here, and there's nothing to buy. And either way, we're closed.
The shopkeeper rises from his seat, and you notice he's sporting a peg where his left leg should be. The old man throws up his hands with a scowl.
Then go fix it.
Melville reluctantly points a crooked finger at the front door.
There's an anomaly, a tree. It's glowing. And there are some golden thingies hanging off it. We make special devices from that fruit called anomaly protectors.
After a little digging, he pulls out a little key on a shoelace.
Only take the device, you hear? It's come...
Chemistry. What did they add in there anyway?
Some kind of stimulator? Or maybe some forefather stuff? Why do you even care, honey? Glad to meet you. Why should we depend on rational knowledge?
Hi there. It was nice chatting.
Why should we depend on rational knowledge? Reason leads us up a blind alley over and over again. There are only two true paths to knowledge. Mystical epiphanies and my books.
Right. What has reason ever given us anyway?
As you well know, 2 + 2 = 4. The Earth goes around the sun. And you should wash your hands before you eat.
That is true. And that means everything else in this book is also true.
Civilization